Okay, folks, we're live, long last. So, who am I? My name is Paul Murray. I've been coaching men 40 plus for over 20 years. And I started off as a professional MMA fighter, opened a big gym in Ireland, like called Fight Academy Ireland. It's well known, flying, doing amazing. And I coached professional MMA fighters for many years. Transitioned to coaching just normal dudes like myself. And I've been through the wars, so I know what men my age go through in order to keep themselves in shape. And I've encountered every barrier and block a man my age can run into. Divorced, bankrupt, 2 hip replacements, lost kids, you name it, I have done it. I've lost businesses, rebuilt businesses, I've been broke, I've been rich, I've been it all. So I know the stress and strains and complaints that guys my age have on a regular basis. And I also know how to overcome them problems, especially when it comes to fitness. Now, I like to coach what I call aged athletes, or the aging athlete. In other words, guys who were back in their 20s, 30s, they knew how to push themselves, they were serious, they were focused and disciplined in their approach to exercise. Now they maybe slipped off on the wagon a bit, put a bit of bellies on, their kids are interfering with their training, life. But don't want to get back, they've got hunger, they've got drive, they've got that grit within them to rekindle the flames. I'm the coach for you. And I focus mainly on what I call gym garage coaching. In other words, that garage that you've got a rack in, you've got a few kettlebells, gymnastic rings. I specialise in showing you how to utilise that and how to get in a great shape using correct technique with a method that's designed specifically for aging bodies. Because as we get older, we've got to make peace with the fact that we're no longer in our 20s. Muscle levels are going that way. We've got more years behind us than we do ahead of us. And our purpose now is not about the ego, it's about maintaining what we've got, building upon that so that when we're in our 60s and 70s, we're still the cream of the crop. Okay? So, what I want to teach you now is how to do the kettlebell swing. In my experience of coaching, 20 years of kettlebells, the kettlebell swing is the most butchered movement there is. Now there's 2 schools of thought with kettlebell swings. There's GS and hardstyle. GS is competition style. It's the purest style and it's very specialised. Hardstyle is the most popularised style. It's all Russian combat stuff. But from my opinion, from an experience of both, I prefer GS, but hardstyle has a better crossover. What I learned with hardstyle has stood the test of time for me when it comes to barbell work and creating tension and stability, whereas GS be more fluid and loose and very specific to the sport. And the kettlebell swing is one of the most butchered movements there is in the kettlebell world. Most people, when they do a kettlebell swing, it's what I call a squat to front raise. When they squat down and lift up the shoulders, drop down and lift it up, or they go like this. Now, I'm going to spend this, whatever time it takes me, to spell this minutes. I assure you, what I'm going to impart to you here is nuggets of gold after nuggets of gold after nuggets of gold. I have spent 20 years honing my skills, and I know that if you give me the time and you listen to what I've got to say, you will take away invaluable knowledge that can be applied to your training today that will instantly make your technique better and make your workouts more effective. So it's up to you if you want to stay along. I want to break down the problems of the kettlebell swing, how to build them up into steps that I have used for many, many years, and then problem solve all those problems that you encounter when it comes to kettlebell swing. So the first thing with the kettlebell swing, I'll give it this. For the hardstyle swing is like so. So we're going from acceleration to deceleration, straight into acceleration again, to deceleration, to acceleration. And it's that propelling the bell forward, stopping it dead, then pulling it back, stopping it dead. That requires core contraction. That requires us to have stability around the trunk. Now, a lot of people, when they do kettlebell swings, they get to the upright point here. And what they'll do is they'll go through like this, and then they'll start losing their position, and they'll fall forward, and their shoulders will be put out of position, and the bell will dictate when they move. Because as humans, we're eye dominant. Everything is about what we see. So when I'm singing the kettlebell, I'm going to grab a light bulb so we can demonstrate this a lot easier. Here's light 6-1, it's okay, I couldn't find the 4. So, that doesn't give me shoulder 4 ways ago, so it's not great. So, when the bell's starting to move, because the bell's moving, most people will move with the bell. Now, what happens there is this. As I move, you'll notice when the bell hits 6 o'clock where it is, it's way below my knees. Now, at this point, you can see the round in my back. What I actually want to be is here. Because we've got to disassociate the bell moving from us moving. We want to move when the kettlebell hits us in the groin. I like to use the analogy of, imagine we've got a big red button here, or here. And as the kettlebell drops, it is the release mechanism to allow you to hinge back. When you propel yourself forward and come to this position, you're locked into place. You can't push forward, you can't bend, until that red button is hit again, and the red button is released through the kettlebell dropping. So when you go here, bump, you propel the bell forward, it comes up, you break the handles here, it then drops as you pull it through with your lats, hits here, you hinge back. Once you reach the apex, you snap the hips through again, and notice the contact with the arms and thighs to this point. It propels the bell forward again. I use the abs, lats, break the handle of the bell, propel it backwards again, comes back to here, and I continue on. So it requires you to be aware of the bell falling and fight that urge to break when the bell's falling, and instead wait until it's in the groin and go back. So the first thing we do is we do what's called a chop and pop. We put our hands ahead around the top, one top, on top of the other like this, and we drop our hands. You hear that slap? That's my trigger. Bump. You're in the same position. How I tell guys this, when you were a kid in the swimming pool, you were jumping in the deep end, you would automatically go like this and jump forward. So when the kettlebell or the hands hit the thigh, we're hinging back. Now you'll notice I've got this bench. Against my calf. Some people have difficulty differentiating between a hinge and a squat. I can talk to them all day, but their mind just doesn't seem to compute. And we can spend hours trying to get this right, and all it does is feed them within the story that they're not good enough, they can't do it, and they start hitting the kettlebells, start hitting the movement. So instead I use proprioception. I put bench behind my knees, and all I do is I reach my butt behind and back when I can close the car door. You'll notice my shins stay vertical, and my butt goes back. If I do a squat, I notice there is a gap between my calves and the bench now. So as long as I can push my bum back and keep my calves in contact, I know that the hinge is relatively okay. Is my back straight? I come to here and snap up, pop. Here, snap up. Here, the hands travel with the hips. They travel up at 6 o'clock. 3 o'clock they break. Drop to 6. Butt goes back. Hands go back to approximately what's that? Maybe 8 o'clock maybe. And then I'm standing up at 6. My hands go forward. So this is called the chop and pop. I reinforce the chop and pop with a basic push-up position plank. We put the hands together like so, because that's the way the kettlebell will be held. And we just do a simple plank. When we do the plank, the chest goes over the hands. A lot of people do the chest like this, put the kettlebell or do a plank like so. We start the plank with our chest over our hand, because this is the push-up position. And we tuck our pelvis under, as I say, ball to belly button, and just hold tight. Squeeze my abs, squeeze my glutes, lock my quads, rotate my elbows back, and hold that stability. Now if that's difficult, you can put your hands wider to build to more stability and more skill platform, allowing you to disperse the weight easier. And we just work through that. Chop and pop for 20 reps, 30 seconds, plank for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, up 15 seconds rest. And I do what's called fast loose. We get the nervous system to relax the muscles and you just shake your body. Doesn't have to be rhythmic, just loose, 15 seconds. Then we come back into fast loose. And we're X amount of time doing that, X amount of time doing that, X amount of time doing that. That's step one. Step two, we transition to what's called the goat bag swing. Goat bag swing, quick anatomy of the bell. Bell, handle, horns. Grab the kettle of the horns, put the base of the bell under the sternum. Now from here we squeeze our abs. And you'll notice that I pull the bell, when I pull the bell back, relax the abs, and then I squeeze my abs, you'll see the bell moves forward. My shoulder blades are retracted to maintain that position. My abs are squeezed, so that there's this like unspoken battle between the shoulder blades wanting to bring the base of the bell to my spine and my abs wanting to prevent it. And from here, I simply do the hinge pattern again. Put the bell down. Plank position. Hold tension. Butt, abs. Lock the lats. Squeeze everything. Back down. Fast loose. Once we get to that point, by the way, this could be 1 day, this could be 1 week. Everyone learns at their own capacity. The next step is we do what's called the setup. Now the setup, I become very boring in the setup because I demand that everything is done exactly the same way every single time. And the reason being is I want to create a habit within your brain that allows you to replicate this movement time and time again without having to second guess. And that takes repetition, repetition. It takes conscious awareness. It takes you to be on point and actually focus on this. So the way I describe it is this. Step over the bell like you just laid an egg. And you squeeze the handles of the bell, or the horns of the bell, sorry, with your ankles. From here, you're going to take 2 steps. 2, not 3, not 4, 2. 1, 2. I know I got to look down and be even, and I'm going to be in position every single time. That's because for the last 20 years, I've done this at least 200,000-300,000 times. 1, 2. This also crosses over to barbell squats. This crosses over to a lot of setups with barbells. Because when you've got a barbell on your back, and when we're off top, when you've got a barbell on your back, it's heavy. The more you move about, the more the core has to move, the more energy you're going to waste, the harder reps become. So if you can build in that ingrained pattern that allows you to just go 1, 2, and you know your position, then you're saving yourself time and energy. Same with this. Every time, no matter how much we do it, we go over this here, 1, 2, hands and hips, hinge back, fingertips to bell, feel the hamstrings. Angle the kettlebell, grip it, and rip it. So you're going to grab your shoulder blades tight, squeeze the bell, notice where the bell moved. Hold that position, really find the hamstrings, stick your butt back as far as you can, feel tension in your abs, let go of the bell, stand up and shake it out. You can then do goat bag swings to green pattern. And then relax. Then we go again. The bell has to move forward, so because it will move as you drag it. Step with the bell again. 1, 2, hinge back. Fingertips to the bell. The shoulders higher than hips, hips higher than knees. Shins as vertical as possible. Grip and rip. Abs tight, really grip around the toes. Lean your butt back, feel those hamstrings as if they're about to rip. You really want to feel the full tension of those hamstrings, making sure the angle is like so, okay? Then like that with vertical shins. That's step 2. Step 3 is the hike, or step 4, I suppose you support for the kettlebell. So step 3 of the kettlebell is the hike. Now the hike is we get into position, and once we get in position, it's like an American football. Throwing pass the ball to the quarterback, he's going to hike it through his legs. When we hike the bell, we don't use our arms. The arms are attached to the body. We use the lats. So we hike the kettlebell hard with this muscle here. We go through the legs, and then we bring it back. And when you're doing this movement, it should stop and start in the same position. So when I go here, 1, 2, here, here. Now when I hang it and I set it back down, my upper body won't move and the kettlebell will land exactly where it was. Hike, 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 hike. Now, we're teaching ourselves the movement here. We're teaching ourselves how to propel the bell forward, because that backward movement is going to allow for the forward movement of the hips. The problem with this movement is it can create, if you're not aware, a habit of hiking and throwing bell forward, hiking and throwing bell forward. Instead, what you've got to be aware of is when the kettlebell hits your ass, if you're doing the strings, you'll feel it in your ass, the kettlebell touches every time. That is your trigger to stand up. So when the kettlebell hits me, I can do this again. 1, 2, here. When you hear me say hike, so I'll say now, now, now. That's hitting my ass. That is my key to stand up, propel the bell forward, and then come down. And that's the next point, which we're going to do is called go on, start, stop, swings. So what we're doing is we're hiking the bell through, we're snapping it forward, we're hiking through again, and then we're set back down. So in the beginning, there'll be 2 hike positions and 1 propelling. Hike, propel, hike, set down. Shake it out. Hike, propel, hike, set down, shake it out. It will look like so. Hike, down. Shake your arms out, and then step back over again. Hike, set back down. Shake your arms out, shake your legs out. Step over again. Hike, set it back down. And repeat, repeat, repeat. Like I said, this is hard style. There's kettlebell purists out there that are like, no! Fuck them. I don't care anymore. This works for the average normal with that. It's not about sport specific work. It's about work that crosses over to everyone else's training. This is much better crossover, in my opinion. Barbells, squats, deadlifts, bench pressing. It creates tension. It teaches you how to create tension. And tension means that your nervous system is more stable. More stable nervous system means you're going to get more reps, you're going to get more sets, you're going to get more weight. So, for generalized training, hardstyle is the best, hands down. Now, once we get to, we've got this point where we're confident, by the way, I would advise you to do this. Film yourself, video yourself, because a lot of times you'll do a position what I call like a dog taking a shit deadlift. Dog taking a shit deadlift compared to a silverback gorilla deadlift. Dog taking a shit looks ugly. Silverback gorilla, strong, powerful, it's got a presence. That's where you want to be when you're setting up your hardstyle swing. You want to have this look of presence and stability and strength innate in your body. So once we've got the hardstyle, once we've got the start-stop going, we do what I call swing ladders. Now swing ladders is this. Do 1 swing, set it down. Shake the legs out. 2 swings, set it down. 3 swings, set it down. 4 swings, set it down. 5 swings, set it down. Let's go to 10 swings. The ladder is up to you. You can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, right up to 10. But it's always, you add 1 on after the last set. So 1 becomes 2, becomes 3, becomes 4, etc., etc. So you're ready to get volume in. At the end of the 5th set, now we're going to do 5 here. In the 5th, you can do an exercise. You can do push-ups, plank, because we're shorter. You can do plank, you can do pull-ups, you can do a squat, you can do any type of exercise that just brings in a bit of a different dynamic. Rest, come back in, do it again. It's a great way of getting some reps in and getting some volume going. So we've got here. 1, 2, hinge back. Shake out. Step over the bell again. 1, 2. Shake out. 3. 1, 2. 2. Last one. Shake it out. 1, 2. And then you've got 15. Oh, hold on. Microphone's falling out. Now you've got 15 swings done in one set. Add some goblet squats in, some push-ups, maybe 5 goblet squats, 5 push-ups. Do 10 sets of that. 150 swings, 50 push-ups, 50 squats. It's a perfect workout for a guy short in his time, stuck in what to do, with just a kettlebell, maybe a barbell or something, or sorry, not bar, pull-up bar, says gymnastic rings. Very, very simple, very basic, but done with consistency, very effective, and that's what we're looking for. So listen, that's if everything works really well. What happens if you've spent the last 10 years behind a computer? The mind's willing, the heart's there, but the body's telling you, F off. We can adapt. Think about the swing as this. Once you get going, it's there. So the vast majority of people, when they get the technique and they're in the middle of swings, mobility isn't an issue. Because the only problem is the starting and the stopping. So this is where these things come into play. Because I call it circuit floor. If you can't get to the floor, you bring the floor to you. And I made these wooden blocks made for me. A couple of bits of wood nailed together. Very, very simple. But what it does, it allows me to gradually increase or decrease the height the bell's at, so that those who haven't got the ability to get to the floor have the ability to still do kettlebell swings, because like I said, once we start to swing, everything else is the same. Everything is starting and stopping. So here, 1, 2, here. Now look at my hinge. I don't have to go back as much, I have to bend down as much and keep my back much straighter. And maybe for someone with tight hamstrings or haven't moved well in a while, this is their limit. The same principle apply. So nothing changed except the floor is raised to me. Now lastly, this is one of my own techniques. I will gladly steal her, I'll gladly claim as mine. Maybe someone did it before me, but I've never seen it being done before. So I'm claiming this as my invention. The bench, and it works with the same principle as what we just spoke about there, bringing the floor to you. This is perfect for guys who break too early. Because the thing about breaking too early is, if I break too early, I'm not aware of it. The bench makes it so. Because if I do it correctly, well, you're sitting with me against the bar, look, the kettlebell will pass through the gap in my legs quite comfortably. The second I make a mistake and go too early, it breaks it. It stops it there. Practice makes permanent. What I practice regularly becomes the permanent go-to movement for my body. So if I practice the technique wrong, and I'm not aware of it, my body is going to adapt to it, and it's going to accept it as normal. And then you come to coach like me, and I've now spent 2 months trying to retrain the nervous system to understand what it is correct. Just because it doesn't look correct or isn't correct, doesn't mean it doesn't feel correct. And that's a big, big difference there. So by doing this, even though it's frustrating in the beginning, and you will spend more time stopping than you will continue, what it's doing is it's breaking the pattern straight away. It's not giving your nervous system any time to recognise what it is you're after. In fact, it's different, it disrupts it. And it forces you to then, when you get it right, you're like, oh, that's what it is. And slowly but surely, there's less hitting off the bench, and there's more swinging through the legs, and the technique's correct. The second thing it does is it corrects very quickly the squat with front raise. Because the squat, remember I said in the beginning, the hinge, I'll get this back here, the hinge is about butt back, shins vertical, back nice and straight, shoulders, hand, hips, hips, hand and knees, shins vertical. If I do the squat the front raise technique, and I go here, and then I go to squat, the bench moves. I feel the pressure. Proprioception gives me instant feedback, because when you're doing a new technique, your mind is swamped with so much information. Back straight, bum, back, abs, tight, blah, blah. It's like brain fart. So what this does is it gives you feedback. So if you're saying, okay, keep the abs tight, hike, and then you're thinking of something else on my lats firing, and then you go forward, or you drop down, instantly it breaks it, instantly it tells you you're doing something wrong, and you can stop, restart, and retrain the correct movement pattern. So these are the tips and the cues that honestly, like I use this every single day in the gym, and it's 100% success rate. It never does not work, because it's just simply retraining the nervous system to understand what you're asking of it. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. Now listen, I'm giving a lot of information free. I don't care. It's not my information, well that is, but most of the stuff is that stuff I've learned. But the reason I can give away so much for free is because I'm confident in what I can offer, and what I do, and who I am, and what I know. And I know that when you come into my paid programs, my online training, or the Coaching Primer if you live in Lisbon, which I highly doubt, then what I have to offer in my training programs surpasses anything I can give away for free. Everything I'm telling you is built on 20 years of wisdom, experience, making mistakes, learning those lessons, reapplying them, understanding that the book script doesn't apply to every single man, woman, or child. Everyone's different limb lengths, different movement abilities, different confidence levels, and that 20 years of amalgamating these experiences into a system that I know works is the reason why I'm such a good coach. So if you're interested in being coached properly, you're just a guy who wants a seriously good workout based on minimal equipment that can be used in the gym garage or taken to your local gym and work through, I'm your man, reach out to me and we'll have a chat. Thanks for listening.